Okay, I am doing this video for you Subqers. You know who you are. So this is how we reconstitute our Solu-cortef and inject it. Okay, so you have these insulin syringes that are 100 units, right? Which is 1 ml. All right, so each unit is 1 milligram of your Solu-cortef. These are the syringes that we're going to use to reconstitute the Solu-cortef. All right, so I'm going to use 2 because I'm actually reconstituting for my pump, and I use 2 bottles of Solu-cortef in my pump, right? So we have 2 of those, alcohol swabs, the powder Solu-cortef, right? These happen to be the active vials. These are Solu-cortef, but it already has the solution in it. You just pop the top, you push it down, it pushes the plunger through, and it mixes itself. This is a 2-to-1 solution, so this is 2 mLs per 2 mLs per 100 milligrams. So it's double one of these, right? So it's double the liquid, but it's the same strength of medicine. Did that make sense? Did I say that right? Maybe, I don't know. But you get the point. 2 of these equals 1 of these. Anyway. So we have 2 bottles of those. And I use saline, sterile saline in mine. I found that I react to the water more, and there's this, is it barosatric? I'm not sure how to say it. I think it's, no, I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna sound like an idiot. It has alcohol in it, and it's horrible. So I use the saline in mine. All right, it says only use once. It's for a single dose. I put it in the refrigerator and I will use it until it's gone because there's no point in wasting it. As long as you keep your needle clean and you don't taint it, it's fine. And then we have these smaller insulin syringes that go up to 30 units. So it's easier with these to get a much smaller dosage. For a Subq, you do not want to Subq in one shot more than 20 units. All right, so if you need to do a 30 shot, you would do a 20 and you would take out another syringe and you would do a 10, or you could do 15 and 15. All right, so you just don't want to put more than 20 units in one site. I'm not sure exactly why. I think that you can just not ruin the tissue, but I think that it just absorbs better when it's less than 20 milligrams. That's what I've always been taught. So that's what I'm gonna go by, right? And I'll show you how to draw that up and use that. All right. I need a reservoir to fill up for my pump, which is this. All right. I am very freaked out about cellulitis. It seems that everyone that uses the pump ends up with cellulitis. I'm not going to say the words, so we'll just leave it at that. So I clean the tops of all of these very well. I clean the top of the saline. All right, I keep my alcohol swab. My first syringe. right? You pull this all the way to the bottom. You fill it with air, all right? And I go past the 100 mark. I put it in the saline, push it down, inject the air, flip it over, all right? I hold it between my two fingers, and I hold the syringe that it is stable. Now these needles are very flimsy, so if it moves around too much, it'll bend the needle. So now I just start pulling it down slowly. As you can you see? Yep, you can see. So the faster you pull it down, it starts squirting in, and you can see it actually filling up. That's cool that the phone's showing it. Right, so I just make sure I hold it steady, and I pull it down. Now that it's down, I will pull it past this 100 line here. Do you see this 100 line? Right, so I pull it past there, come back up here, and I'll tap it to get all the bubbles up, right? So now you have bubbles up in this section, and then I push the syringe. You want the very top of the syringe in line with that 100 mark. That is 1 ml, right? So we're just gonna push it up so that it is in line with that 100 mark all the way around. You can see it's right in line with that. And that gives us our 1 ml, which is 100 units, 100 milligrams. So then we take one of our powdered Solu-cortef bottles. I'm gonna clean it again. All right, hold the bottle straight, put the needle in. Now you can see there's like a little circle. Let me get it to focus. It's like a little circle inside with ridges. You want to get it inside that circle because there's thick rubber around the other edges, and it becomes a pain in the ass and it gets stuck in there, and then you can't inject it in. So you want to try to get it in the center. Put it in the center, and voila. That's it. Put the cover on this. I have a 1 gallon water jug that I put these in, and we can take them to the police station or the hospital, and they will dispose of them for us. Depending on your state, they may require you to put it in a certain container and then just throw it in the garbage. It depends on the rules. But I just put mine in a jug, and we get rid of it from there. So you take the bottle. I shake the hell out of mine. Because I've had chunks that just sit in it for a little while. So I shake it. You can roll it in your hands. Doesn't really matter. All right, it's gonna be super ridiculously foamy. So you're just gonna let that sit. I'm gonna do the other one. All right, same thing. I'm going to take a fresh one. So I never use the same syringe twice when I put it in the sterile saline bottle. Saline? Yeah, it's saline and sodium. I never use the same needle because I don't want to get any bacteria in anything, right? So again, same thing. Pull it off. Clean the top. Lid. And then once again, pull it down past the 100. Put it in the middle, push the air in, turn it upside down, hold it between your fingers, hold the syringe steady, and fill her up. Now the smaller syringes I've noticed have a problem, what would be the right word for it? I guess, catching the suction. So sometimes you'll have to fill it with air, push it back in, like keep adding air to the bottle before you'll get a good suction, before you'll get a good draw on it. I have had some issues with that, and that becomes a pain in the butt when you're doing Subq injections. I don't have to do that with these. I don't have an issue with that because I put it all in. Okay, once I go past the 100 again, right? So we're past that 100 mark. Tap it, push the air out, bring it to the bottom. That the very top goes to that 100 mark, right? Okay, this we're now done with. This I'm gonna put in a plastic bag and put in the refrigerator. All right, we have our other bottle of Solu-cortef. I am going to clean the top again. Take this, remember, in the very center, and push down. Some people like to take it and swirl it. They like this, and they say that that helps. I just fling across the room when I do that. Like I said, I shake them. Put the cap back on. That's garbage. So exciting. All right, again, we are super fuzzy. All right, let's see what we got over here. All right, so this is my first bottle. It still has some bubbles in it, so we want to wait until that goes. All right, so eventually this will clear out. There will not be any bubbles, and that's that. So to do an injection, again, what you're going to do is you're going to take the smaller syringe. You're going to decide how much you want to do in the injection. If you're switching over to what your HC pills were, it's the same thing. It's the same milligrams. So 1 milligram of this is 1 milligram of an HC pill. So if you were to take a 10 HC, it's 10 units of this, which is 10 milligrams. All right, this is 100 milligrams in the one bottle. Those active vials is 100 milligrams too, but it's 2 mLs. So you would wait until this clears 100%, which we're almost at. You would take the smaller syringe. They also have a much smaller, I don't know if we can see it, much smaller little needle on there, right? Again, we would pull it to, I always pull it all the way, and I inject all the air into it. So you would take your bottle. For this demonstration, I'm going to use saline, but you would use, obviously, the Solu-cortef. It's the same process. Clean the top. Right, take your little needle directly in the center. Okay, push the air in. You're going to flip it over, and you're going to draw your needle down all the way down. Make sure that it catches the suction, and then push it back up. All right, so I'm gonna do 5. All right, so if you can see here, there's a line, a darker, thicker line for the 5. Well, I don't know if it's thicker, but it comes out farther towards the 5. You can see that right there. All right, you want the very top of that plunger to be in line with that 5. That is how you measure with these syringes. All right, I'm only stressing that because it took me a long time to figure that out. Probably way longer than it should have, because I was brain dead for a while. All right, So you push that plunger all the way up to the line for the 5, right? And then you take it out. All right, so I'm not sure if you can see here, but it is right at that line for that 5, right? If you were 4, you'd be the line above it, and so on, okay? So then we take an alcohol swab. We pick a chubby fatty part, and luckily I have lots of chubby fatty parts. Okay, just grab a spot. Take a syringe. I have like PTSD with stabbing myself anymore. I just, I seriously can't fucking do it. Alright, put it in, ready, get set. Just go. See how easy that was, right? So once it's in, you push it all the way in, right? So that it's like pushed all the way in, and you just push it in, okay? Now, there might be, you might see, did I clean the skin first? I don't remember if I cleaned the skin first. I hope I did. Well, if I didn't, you have to clean it first. I don't remember if I did. Alright, well, you have to clean the area first with the alcohol swab and then do the injection in the spot. But you want to wait until the alcohol dries because then it burns if it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to watch the video to see if I did it. I'm not redoing it just because I missed that part. But that's it. Alright? And then you put this back on here, and that's it. Now you can, what I used to do before I did the pump and I did my Subq, all my meds in Subq, what I did was I would draw them up the night before and I would lay them out across my nightstand because I knew how much I was getting and when and what time. I never had an issue with them crystallizing. I realized that some people put their Solu-cortef in the refrigerator, and I think that that's where the issue comes in with the crystallization, right? So you'll go to inject it, but you can't, it's stuck. And it's because the Solu-cortef is very thick and it crystallizes easily in the tip of your, in your needle, so it doesn't come out. I just actually had it happen to my pump a couple weeks ago. I took it off for a little bit because I'm now running I think only on 11 hours per day of the pump. So I took it off thinking that it would be fine, and it didn't. I got a pump failure. So Solu-cortef manufacturer says it's shelf stable for 3 days. Hindmarsh, who is the he is the pump expert over in overseas, and I believe he did a study that said 5 or 7 days. I actually have to look. I'll put that in the comment section as to what he did, how long it was shelf stable without any reduction in strength. So you have that. You don't have to put the Solu-cortef in the fridge if you're going to use it before like 5 or 7 days. I know women who have actually used the bottle for a month. Like just kept it next to their nightstand and just used the bottle for a month. If you do have trouble with crystallization, you can draw up the syringes as needed throughout the day, or you can put them out. You can do them all at once. Like I said, as long as you're not refrigerating it, I really don't think that you're going to run into a problem. I did, however, actually have an IM syringe, an emergency shot that I had drawn up for something, I think when I went on a plane, and that actually crystallized on me, so I couldn't use that. Don't think there's anything I'm missing. I think that's it. So yeah, so just you just pick a spot and you use the alcohol swab and you just stick it in. That's it. Air, you'll probably notice you'll get some air, a little bit of bubbles in this. It's not a big deal. You're not injecting it into a vein. You're not gonna like die of like an air bubble or anything like that. Yes, that was something I was concerned about. Strength wise, it's the same. I find that I don't get I wasn't getting those high peaks with the Solu-cortef as I was with the hydrocortisone pills, and I was using the Greenstone brand. So that's about it. I guess I might as well just finish off with the pump stuff. For those of you who do the pump or are going to do the pump or are interested in doing the pump, once you have your bottles set up, the 1-to-1 solution, the powdered Solu-cortef, actually fits on the Medtronic reservoir. Which is this. This is what holds your medication. So these fit on the top of them. If you don't use these and you do use the active vials, it is a 2-to-1 solution, so you'll have to double the units in your pump. So you're pumping twice as much fluid into your pump site as you would using a 1-to-1 solution. Hindmarsh actually found that the 1-to-1 solution gave you a higher cortisol peak than the 2-to-1 solution. So it is in your benefit to use the 1-to-1 solution. People have had issues with these as well because of the pH balance in the liquid. I believe that there's an issue with that. I know that there's some people that have issues with it. So I don't recommend using these, but you absolutely can. I mean, if that's all you can get, that's absolutely fine too. And some people actually have less of a problem because it is more diluted. So it doesn't burn as much. They don't get as many site reactions. I had just the opposite reaction. I was using these and I had more reactions, which makes no sense, but whatever. So for the pump, I need to fill up my reservoir. So I will pull it up and down. I will twist it. I will make sure that it is moving because I have had failed ones before where it doesn't actually pull down. So this one works properly. So I'm going to clean. So if you can see now, these are absolutely clear. There are no more bubbles in them, so they're good to go. So I'm going to clean the top. I'm going to pull this all the way down. We're going to inject all of that air in here and get lots and lots of pressure so that it pushes itself out. Right? We're going to inject the air. All the way up. Right? And I try to do this slow because I hate having air bubbles in that. So then as you see, the pressure that I put in the bottle is pushing the plunger down and filling it back up. And then it goes. Right? So then this bottle is empty. Take this off. This is garbage. I'm going to take my second bottle. I'm going to clean the top. And I'm going to make sure that this is all the way down to the bottom again. Don't go too far because I have accidentally pulled this out and dumped everything everywhere. All right, we put it back on top. I will, at this point, tap to get the air bubbles up, right? So I have all the air bubbles out of the bottom. So I am going to push this up and I'm going to push a lot of the fluid into the second bottle, right? Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm clearing out the reservoir of all of the air, right? So it's getting all of the air, the bubbles that were down at the bottom, because I don't want air in my line. Right, so then I'm going to let it fill itself again. Right, as you can see, there are absolutely no bubbles in the bottom there. See, it's getting to the 2 mark, and then it's gonna, yep, and then there we go. All right, now we know that all the solution is out of the top bottle, and there we go. Now see, we're at this point where there's air in there too. So I'm just gonna tap, and I'm gonna slowly push up and release the air out of the res. And then we're gonna get to the top part. There's still air up in the top, so I'm gonna push up until I start to see some of the solution come out of the top. Once I see the solution come out of the top, I know that the air is gone, and I twist and I remove this piece, and we have a perfect bottle or res with no air. Right, and then you just screw off the bottom, and that's that. All right. I happen to not have any insets. Right here. So I'm gonna end the video, and I'm gonna go find my metal ones, because the Teflon ones don't work for me anymore. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay.